I always forget that I have to talk first, which is probably not good when you're running a game. Welcome to the second scenario of Hallowed Penumbra, which is the wonderful Call of Cthulhu game that we are running on this channel. I am Talara79. You can find me on socials, but I'm not very active on socials unless I'm posting Nanocraft, so don't stress. And I will then throw over to the players so they can tell us who they are, where we can find them, and who they're playing this evening. I'm going by how things are on my screen. So Bonnie Doyle is the next one.
Of course you did. My name is Katrina. I'm playing Bonnie Doyle. Bonnie Doyle is a union activist and proficient with in the art of suffragitsu. So, yeah.
Next off is Finlay.
Hello, that would be me. I am Andy or AndySPG here on Twitch, and you can find me under AndySPG on many things. And Finley is he's a guy who's maybe drank a little bit too much in his life, is a little bit rough around the edges, and doesn't really care for smart talk. That's basically him.
Evie, you're next.
Hi, I'm Shadowmere. You can find me on all the socials as Shadowmere, but I'm mainly on TikTok. When I'm not here, I'm on Meeples and Dragons. But tonight I'm playing Evie Ward, who is a quiet seamstress who likes to sew stuff and look at people, do a bit of people watching.
But not in a creepy way.
Well, I mean, yeah, creepy as well, for sure. It's maybe awkward.
Maybe. I mean, that could be why you're involved in investigating weird things, is just a little bit of creep factor occurring, you know?
Yeah.
And we don't have Florence with us tonight. We have a new character. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I am Piggles, and where can you find me? You can occasionally find me on Jack's Bopek's channel doing Pulp Call of Cthulhu. You can find me on Meeples and Dragons YouTube channel in It Fell Out West, where I played a giant kangaroo bent on trying to kill humanity in the Fallout world. That was great fun. Tonight I am playing Eliza Elworth, expat. Yes, sorry, it fell out back. Bad me. Did I get the game I was in wrong? Yes, I did. Bad me. Oops. I am playing Eliza Elworth, an expat from Britain, come to America to essentially live their life and raise their child, working as a secretary for a family member, doing a little stuff on the side. We'll find out more at some point, if we live.
Yeah, we'll find out as that goes too. As we finished the last scenario, we said we were going to do skill improvements at the start of this one so that people could see what actually happens to characters if they go beyond a one-shot. People would remember that in the last game, when they had extreme successes, extreme failures, or a success in a meaningful use of a skill, I had them check the box next to the skill. You only had to check it once. So if you did that 5 times, unfortunately, it's only once. So what I will get is I will get the players to grab their sheets. And we need a cat counter. We totally need no need to apologize. If you saw a stream I was in last week, there was a cat there for the whole stream, so it's fine.
Sorry, what cat?
Yeah. So I will get you to get your sheets so you know what skills you have increased. And we will start with the first one. And what I will do is I will get everyone to roll the percentile dice. Now, unlike in game where you want to roll below the skill, this time you want to roll above it.
For which one?
Choose one. We're going through an example. Just one of the ones you've checked so far.
Part of me wants to really bump up that Egyptology.
You will go through all of them, so
Yes.
don't
Awesome.
stress, but we're just picking one as the example at the start.
Oh, oops.
Okay.
I made it just.
So who rolled over their skill? Yep.
I
so
did.
Andy, you're the lucky one. Now take the single D10 and roll it for me.
Oh God. Oh, a 9.
So you get to increase that skill by 9 points.
Look at that.
Nice.
It landed in my teacup. It was blessed.
Now, things change if a skill hits 90 in regards to how you can increase it, because obviously if you're at 90, you are pretty much an expert at it, so it becomes harder to do that increase. However, none of you have skills at 90 at the moment. So that is basically the process you're going to go through for every skill you checked, is rolling those percentile dice. And if you roll above that skill, you then get to roll the D10 to increase the skill.
Everyone we've checked.
Yes.
The ones we highlighted that we're quite proficient at.
No, the ones that you either got the extreme success, extreme failure for
Understood.
an
Yes,
individual,
yes.
or used it in a meaningful way. So, for example, you did spot hidden a number of times, but you only get to do the chance at improving it once.
Understood. Yes. Yep.
Well, I succeeded on all 3 of mine. Granted, one of them was 3% and one of them was 5% that I had to beat.
Which
But-
is the idea, is that it's easier to improve a skill if you don't have much knowledge in it, because it doesn't take much extra knowledge to improve it. But as
Correct.
you become more and more of an expert in that skill, it's harder to learn additional things in that field.
And it's
What-
1d10, yes?
Yes.
What happens if your sheet didn't record the ones that you ticked?
Then for this game, we are ignoring that, and then we can go through the VODs and find out.
Cool. Yeah, because I can only remember ticking spot hidden and persuade. I can't remember if there's anything else.
Did you add Egyptology onto your sheet? Because I think we all got that by default, didn't we? The Egyptology
Yes.
one.
Yeah, so that was a reward for finishing the adventure,
Hey.
No, it
which
hasn't
means that
saved
technically
anything.
it wouldn't be ticked because you've only just gained that field.
Thanks, D-holes.
Which is weird because normally it records stuff.
Hmm.
So
I got the downloaded PDF, so mine's like unlucky that way. So maybe get your PDF after this session, just in case.
Yeah.
now,
Mm.
once everyone has done that, because I know one of the players is quite keen, we will address luck.
I managed to get a to tick an extreme success on occult,
Mhm.
which for me is only 5. So I bumped that up. But yeah, only 2. Bugger.
That's all right.
Oh well.
It's more than you had before. I have a chonky ginger that's just come into the room behind me.
Yes. I didn't know ham was ginger.
It was
I'm
a long
sure-
time ago.
I'm sure he appreciates being called chonky too.
I have a question. So where we got extreme successes and then we
Mhm.
tick those ones,
Mhm.
we get rid of those ticks now and we start afresh?
So, yep. So once you've done your improvements, you get rid of all those marks and we start fresh.
Great.
So I'll just go back through. I'll leave my stats as they are for now, and I'll go back through later.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't
Unless, because I
forget
do
to
know that
record
spot
it.
hidden was one of them. Feel free to do your spot hidden now and we can just add the other ones.
Okay.
Now, sand increase we did at the end of last game. So you got a certain amount of points back based on how you resolve the adventure. Or, depending on what you do, you could lose further sanity based on how you resolve the adventure, out of guilt and remorse.
Never regretted anything in his life.
That takes extra feelings.
Mhm. Now, with luck,
Alcohol doesn't leave room for that.
Exactly.
with luck, we regain it the same way. So you are trying to roll over your luck, and if you succeed, you get to roll a d10.
Ah,
So
really?
there is no automatic replenishing.
So I can go. I didn't use any, so I can just gain some.
Yes.
This one. Oh, okay, perfect. Oh, I rolled 1 below my total. That's upsetting.
Hey, can you use luck to bump that roll up?
No, you cannot use luck in any of these. No.
So now I have 50.
Nice.
I feel like 55 is a healthy-ish amount.
And what I will get you to do is everyone tell me their luck so I know who has the lowest amount of luck.
Eliza has 40.
Mm-hmm.
62.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Bonnie Doyle has 50.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm at 55.
Okay, so if there are any group luck rolls tonight, Eliza will be the one doing the roll on behalf of the group.
So there's a reason I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 sets of D100s out in front of me so I can dice spin some because I know how this goes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, is everyone ready to start the next adventure?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Now, what I will do is with the opening information of the scenario, of course, you aren't in the same place as Eliza currently. So I will deal with Eliza first. So Eliza, you are
Hi.
at home. You've just enjoyed a nice evening meal and you're getting ready to do your nighttime activities. But it is not late enough that you've had to prepare for bed yet. You receive a phone call to your residence. A man on the other end is ranting and being vague. You recognize the voice as Dr. Lawrence Warwick. You remember that he had been a consultant in some cases you had worked for the Bluestone previously. You also remember he was a doctor at St. Mary's Hospital, which is the teaching hospital connected to the Miskatonic University. Further, because of the nature of your employment, you are aware that he was recently terminated from his position at the hospital. There have been multiple rumours through the university faculty, and by virtue of working in the library, you've heard rumours from staff and students alike with theories from the mundane to the wild. The most common theory you heard was there was some form of negligence and it became too risky for him to remain on staff, especially given the responsibility of teaching future medical professionals. Dr. Warwick implores you to come to his apartment. In his ranting, you get the impression he has done something, potentially something he should not have done. And in the midst of his nonsensical ramblings, you decipher he felt he needed to do things to avert a coming crisis, one being caused by cultists and the need to battle resurrection with cleansing fire. You are unsure if he is talking about things that have actually happened or if he is in some form of paranoia, but you know that he is begging you to meet him as he needs help to resolve things before he ends the call. So, what would you like to do?
And he's still on the call at this point?
No, he's ended the
No,
call.
he's done. He's
He's basically done this massive rant where you could barely get a word in edgewise and then ended the call.
I think what Eliza will first do, she's going to take out her notebook, which she always has to hand, and jot down as many details as she can remember, because things that she think may have happened, things that she thought might be wild, but just to at least jot down the bare bone facts and things that she has so far. Then I think she's going to start preparing to go out. So she's going to go grab her portable writing desk and just make sure that inside it has a couple of things that she generally has with her, and that's going to be things like her sewing kit, just in case. You never know what you have to repair. But also she's going to make sure that she's got, she generally has a pair of linen gloves for some of the work she does in the library, but also very sensibly she's going to make sure that she has her small knife and club with her as well. She's a bit perturbed about what she's heard on the phone and doesn't quite know what she's walking into. I think the last thing that she'll do is jot a note down for essentially her cleaning lady who's due in to come in the next morning, just in case she doesn't come back that evening, and where to inquire about her whereabouts and to get a message to her son.
Okay. So now we will cross to the rest of the group. Now, you would be familiar with the fact that after each case, usually a few days after, you do a debriefing session with the Bluestone where you cover what has occurred. So it is a few days after the events at the Boston Museum. You are in a spacious residence with Edgar, your handler. And he advises that he uses the residence when conducting debriefs with people for the Bluestone after they've completed cases. You are aware there are other staff in the building, with these people also assisting in debriefing and gathering of accounts from each of you as to what the events were and what you had witnessed. After the debriefing and a fine meal, you are all sitting with Edgar when he receives a call. While you are not the one speaking on the phone, the person on the other end is almost shouting down the phone, and it doesn't take a psychologist to know the male is frantic and panicking. Edgar asks questions, makes soothing noises, assuring someone that he calls Lawrence. After the call has ended, Edgar turns to you looking somewhat torn and bereft. He says, "I'm sorry to ask you to be in the field again so quickly. That was Dr. Lawrence Warwick, a medical professional that had worked at St. Mary's Hospital. He consulted for us on several cases due to his medical expertise. But unfortunately, he began to develop a malady of sorts, one of the mind. We felt it was best for his safety that he not continue working for us, as we didn't want to exacerbate his illness. I kept tabs on him, and he continued to deteriorate, ignoring our offers of help for his condition and telling us that we didn't see the truth. Ultimately, he lost his position at the hospital some weeks ago. I'm sure you heard the state he was in during that call. He has requested people attend his apartment to assist him in resolving something that he has done. I do not know what it is, whether he's imagining things or whether something has actually occurred. But I agreed to send people, and since you are here and time is of the essence, I will be sending each of you. Please feel free to use my vehicle. I'll be going to speak to others of the Bluestone to see what we can do about Dr. Warwick on a longer basis and how we can help him. Oh, and someone will meet you there. He advised he had already called another colleague, Elizabeth Ellsworth, to also come to his aid. Now what do you do?
He's gone now?
He is preparing to leave. You will have a brief moment to ask questions if you need to.
I do have a question, and I feel like maybe I should know this information. What is Edgar and it's Bluestone? Bluestone? What is their stance on the occult?
You don't know.
We don't know. Then
No.
I'm going to ask Edgar. With what we've just, we're debriefing about this, what's just occurred at the museum. What is your take on everything we've just seen?
I believe that people do things due to their own beliefs. Whether those beliefs are accurate or not, who am I to say? That's a very existential question.
It is. Were we in any real danger of an I don't know what the right word is, entity harming us in that room?
To be honest, I have seen things that don't present as normal, but there are times where things are normal when we think they won't be, and it's just the figment of someone's imagination or a mistaken belief. I cannot say for certain whether or not you were in danger of another entity in that room.
Do you believe in what? Sorry, everyone. I've got one more question. Edgar, what is your stance or Bluestone's stance on Lawrence and what he's saying?
Lawrence has seen many things in his life that have been traumatic, and working on cases with us would only have made that trauma worse. It is unfortunately the case where he developed an interest into looking into things of the occult. Sometimes reputable sources, sometimes not. But he seemed to almost unravel the more he dealt.
Geez, he's not giving us anything, is he?
Didn't mention
I'm
anything.
sorry, you're not going to have a character solve the mysteries of the universe in scenario 2 for you. You have to unravel that yourself. I'm not giving you Mythos 99 straight up, no.
What if I threw all my luck at it?
What
Before
luck?
Edgar goes, does anyone have any questions for Edgar?
I've got none for Edgar, but I think Finley's just like, Bonnie, you're not really thinking that what we just went through is like real, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm absolutely not. I want to know why we keep we're getting pushed into potentially another situation where we are in danger, and I guess I just want to suss out whether or not that danger is man-made,
It's man
which is what I
brain-made,
believe it
think.
is.
Aye, that's fair. Yeah. I think we'll be
Right.
fine.
So the lady is Elizabeth Ellsworth, who will be helping us out. So what do we know about her?
So you have not worked a case with Elizabeth before, but you're aware that sometimes people who work in different ones, depending on what's needed, will assist and consult. Edgar says she is a learned woman who works at the Miskatonic University Library.
Is this do we hit the library first? We don't have a time limit this time, do we?
You don't know.
Oh. Should we go and talk to Lawrence, or go and talk to Elizabeth and kind of...
So Elizabeth has been called to his apartment.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
So I think the first thing really to do would be to decide who's driving so we can get to
I was going to
Lawrence's
ask that.
apartment.
Who's actually driving this time?
I remember these driving adventures from before. Who is
Oh.
driving?
Right.
Above
Drive
table,
auto.
technically, I'm better at driving now.
I'm just gonna...
Technically.
After the fumble, yeah.
I'm good to drive. I've just rolled a 49 for a 30, so
So
oh
you
wait,
don't-
we have to go under, don't we?
But it's not. So the reason why the driving skills happened before was due to the condition and the fact that someone was following you, so you chose to go faster. When it comes to just
Understood.
driving about town in a normal way, you don't have to do a drive
Absolutely
roll.
fine. Okay.
Okay. I rolled because you rolled. I also rolled. I rolled a 95, so you can drive.
Are you
But
sitting
you
in the
don't
front
have to roll,
seat?
so you
though?
don't get to ticket. Sorry.
So you're both in the front seat, I'm assuming. So I'll be sitting in the back by myself.
Yeah, because you
Right.
don't have Florence there anymore.
And I'd be
So,
lonely without
Yeah.
Miss Florence in the back
Does this
there.
mean
But
like Finley's back seat driving from the side and the front?
Maybe a little.
There will be heaps.
to be honest, they're both as bad as each other.
Where are we at the moment? Where in relation to where we're starting and how far Dr. Lawrence's address is?
So by the time you get there, it would probably be between 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
Ooh, nighttime driving.
Yes, you've had your dinner meal. You were relaxing after dinner. It is nighttime.
All right. Shall we?
After you.
We're on our way then.
Bonnie, pothole. Move over.
This is going to be an ongoing thing, isn't it?
It is
Like-
absolutely
Oh, yeah.
an ongoing thing.
I
Evie's
suppose.
just being thrown from side to side of the back.
You know, I saw the pothole.
You saw the pothole. It's fine.
You saw it and you aimed for it.
That's right.
Is has any no, are we there yet?
Well, yes, I'm just waiting for you guys to pause so I could give you the next part of the story.
All right. I'm just gonna pull up in front of this residence here then.
Yeah,
Can we please make it a thing that Evie starts asking? Are we there yet?
yeah.
In the back.
Ain't there yet?
So our story begins as you arrive at his apartment, a small suite with an attached consulting room and office in the Tower Professional Building in downtown Arkham. When you enter, the living room, kitchen area, and bedroom all look normal but quite messy. However, when you reach the consulting room in the office, you see that they are in a state of chaos. Papers and furniture are everywhere. New tools litter the floor, and something reeks of gasoline. There is no sign of Warwick, but the state of his apartment does not bode well. You need to find him and figure out why he isn't here, and make sure things don't get out of hand. Now, for convenience sake, you all arrive at the same time. He did the calls in quick
Hey.
succession. So you're aware that you're meeting someone else there, and there is, in fact, someone else there.
Eliza will be waiting at the door, knowing that other people are due to arrive, and knows from previous experience that it's best that everyone goes in together rather than one person messing up with whatever they find.
Now, this is also the point where I would get our lovely producer to put the map on the screen for you. However, all I can see is an empty chair.
What do you mean? He's right there. I can see
Yes, an empty chair.
How dare we accuse? Accuse. No.
So if our lovely producer could please add the map to our wonderful overlay for the audience, as well as place it in Discord for the players, that would be great.
You said you arrived at the house and it smells like gasoline.
Something reeks of gasoline.
So the outside is smelling like gasoline.
No, inside. You can smell it. So
Inside.
you're at the door, the door's open. He doesn't appear to be in there.
And
do we-
Eliza is at the door as well.
Yeah,
Correct.
just waiting.
Do we see any kind of lights on when we enter, or is it all kind of dark and you can just tell that there's shit everywhere?
No, the lights are on.
Okay.
Whoever, if he has left, it's either been in a hurry because of his panic, or he has left under some form of duress.
So
Okay.
I think before we all go in, Eliza's going to step forward and essentially ask who they are. So she knows she's here to meet people, but yeah, my name is Eliza Elworth. May I ask who you all are?
Hi, Eliza. I'm Evie. We were sent by Edgar to come meet you here.
Yes, Edgar did mention that. And the rest of you are?
It's Finley. Nice to meet you.
Bonnie Doyle, a little worried about that gasoline smell.
Yes,
Hmm.
it does seem to be quite strong coming from inside, but I've called out several times while I was waiting for you to arrive. I haven't heard anything from inside, but I haven't gone in yet.
You think he's still in there, or like?
I don't know at this point, but now all of us are here. Perhaps we can cautiously go inside,
Yeah.
and start looking for what we find.
Finley's just going to take out the handkerchief and just before he goes in.
For convenience sake, you will see that given there are a number of different areas you can explore compared to usual locations, each room or specific area has a different number. So please feel free to tell me if you are looking in specific areas, whether you're doing it together, whether you're doing it separately, or whether you're just getting a general walkthrough.
Okay, just to be clear, the map as it is has a door on the south, slightly to the right. Is that the entrance?
Yes, so you would be coming in where basically there is a pot plant just to the right.
You can't really see much.
There's a small room and a toilet area. Maybe that's probably the. Do we split up?
Perhaps
That's
we
up to
find
you.
the smell of the gasoline first.
Yeah, locate the smell of the gasoline's a great
Aye.
idea.
So
How about
which
spot
rooms are you
hidden?
going to look for the gasoline in first? Because it is permeating throughout, given the fuming nature of gasoline.
Does spot hidden cover nose
Smells, aroma.
smells? Yeah, aromas.
Yes.
Does it cover nose looking?
That is what it is now called.
Yeah. So it is the sort of thing where you know the smell is there. You don't have to do spot hidden for that, but you would be using spot hidden to visually locate the source of the smell. If that makes sense.
I would suggest heading towards the kitchen. Seems like that might be the best place to start.
I have quite a nose for it. I am going to go spot hidden and see if I can figure out a direction. Then I'm under. I have to go under, yeah? Yep, I just did that. Adjust. Yes, gasolini, and it's coming from that direction.
So given you're at the entrance of the apartment, it's coming from inside the apartment. If you wish to move further, where you would have like a northeast, southwest, that would potentially help. But for now, it's all forward, so the smell is forward.
Okay.
Is the little room with the plant at the front, is that the front entrance? Like the...
Yes.
So that
Okay.
is the foyer.
Okay.
Is it you, Evie, that said you were going straight to the kitchen?
I didn't go there, but I would strongly suggest that would be a good
Yeah.
place to start.
We turn off any kind of burner, any kind of light that is
right.
on.
Yes, that's a great plan. Yes, do that.
Because I can see in the picture it's a little gas hole, and that would be the first place that I would put petrol if I was going to start a fire. For legal
We did just
reasons, I'm not going to
survive
start a
one.
fire.
So
Sure.
you enter the kitchen area. It is fairly nondescript in that there's nothing unusual, or it doesn't look like it has been ransacked or anything like that has occurred. You double check, everything is off. So the smell of gasoline is potentially not to set a fire in this apartment.
Maybe the person that was in here had gasoline on them.
Eliza's going to suggest, right, someone should take the bathroom in case the bathtub is full of something. Someone should take the bedroom, and maybe someone else should take the study. I'm quite happy to do the study. I'm used to, well, sorting through the mess of old men, quite frankly.
Are we splitting up, or should we go in pairs just in case there's someone in that room?
Pairs is very sensible.
No.
So,
Mhm.
Finley and Evie, why don't you two go together? You're near the kitchen. Perhaps you could go do the bedroom and the bathroom. And Bonnie, how about you and I check the living room quickly and then go and check the study?
Yeah, great idea. Okay.
Perfect.
Yep.
So if we then go check the living room,
That's right.
do
I'll go
we-
to
Yes.
the bathroom area first. So you go in there. You can still smell gasoline. It doesn't seem to be as strong in this room. And you pull back the curtain around the bathtub, and nothing happens. So it's fine. I thought, but no. I'm not going to mess with someone else's module quite that much. I will massacre it in plenty of other ways, trust me. So then the people that are going towards the office. So for him, he has the office, and he also has the consulting room. So those are the two areas at the top that are quite connected. And it has stuff everywhere. There, it doesn't look like someone was searching for things. It looks like, for want of a better term, a madman trying to decipher things and throwing things around, and conspiracy boards and all sorts of things everywhere.
So not like piles of chaos, but there's maybe an unknown purpose to that pile in the way that a very disorganized person knows where all the things are, just don't topple all the piles. So
It seems more chaotic.
Okay.
So there is like standard medical tools.
Mm-hmm.
There's also, for some reason, gardening tools in there. So you would think that he would just potentially keep all his tools in one area. And I will also say that you can see that there is the remnants of a container of gasoline. So you know how you get the big ones and you pour it into a smaller receptacle? So there is the big one there, but there's obviously a significant portion missing from it. Now, for you and the other person in the room with you, I will get you to choose either intelligence or education to roll. And you need a hard success.
70 or
Let's go
I'm going for it. Intelligence?
Or education, take whichever one's highest.
Intelligence. No. And it's quite high. Oops.
That is 41. That is just a regular success. That is not a hard success.
You do have the option of spending luck, but again, it does have consequences.
I'm not playing Pulp. I'm not doing that too early.
But we can double down, can't we?
You can, if you can
Oh,
tell
yes.
me what you're doing differently to push the roll.
Oh, I wasn't wearing my glasses.
No.
I am going then to open a blind to get a better look at the room.
It's
Let some light
nighttime.
in. It's what? It's nighttime.
Nighttime.
And I refuse to open light a match or anything. There's lights on here in this room though, isn't there?
Yes, there is already lights on.
Oh.
I turned the lights off to get a better feel of the room.
So, what I might suggest as a little bit of a hint here is to continue exploring and see whether or not you can use anything else you find to push that roll.
Anything sorry, I don't understand.
So I've
As
given
in the
you-
shovel that's in there to flick some of the stuff off the floor, or
So there is papers and all sorts of things strewn around this room.
okay. Specifically, I would like to look for I don't know what you call it, a calendar, so I can see who has come in.
Oh, like one of those big desk blotter calendar things.
Yeah, Rolodex
Yeah.
maybe, and to see who the last clientele was.
Except that he's relieved from his duties some weeks earlier.
Or any other information that might be on that. Contacts, the Rolodex often has contacts in it. So I'm specifically looking for information on people who may have been in the space or events that he has earmarked on his calendar.
Okay. So I will get you to do. Just trying to think. Feel free to do a medical roll, a medicine roll.
Oh no, it is a 1.
That's good.
Oh no, I mean
Yeah.
my number
Oh.
is 1.
Oh, okay.
See if you can roll a 1.
So all zeros.
No, 001.
Okay, but this is my second go at it. There's a
No.
good chance I'm gonna
So
fail.
this isn't to do with those. You're looking for something separate.
Separate. No. I got close. Actually, I got close enough to use some luck points.
It is up to you.
I got 16. So smash 16 off.
Oh my God.
Yep, let's do it. I'm reckless.
Oh my God, you're going to get the group killed. Anyway,
34. I'm up to
know.
34 luck.
You're down to 34 luck.
Yep.
So we're now using you as the person who does the group luck rolls. Yeah. Knowing what's ahead. Interesting
All right.
choice.
Do you not want me to... should I put the lucky rabbit foot away?
I would suggest putting the lucky rabbit foot away on this one.
Really?
Because I don't believe you will find anything particularly useful given his recent circumstances and the state of the room by looking specifically in his Rolodex.
Then I didn't find anything.
That's fine. There's
Eliza
heaps of papers.
Yeah,
Feel free to look at
Eliza
the
was going to
papers.
say she's going to start sorting through some of the papers to see what she can see. She knows also from experience scrawlings on papers are also worth just having at least a quick glance over, because that's sometimes where sparks of inspiration are kept.
So you find he has numerous clippings of the same story that he's torn out of newspapers, almost like he's collected it several times or from different papers. And it's all about a mummified man found at home. Arkham police were called to a vacant property on South Sentinel Street in the Rivertown neighborhood when neighbors complained of a strange smell.
Oh no.
On entering the property, police discovered the mummified body of a man whose identity is yet to be established. Inquiries are ongoing.
Eliza's going to turn to Bonnie. Bonnie, could you go and check? Did the gardening tools and medical equipment over there, does it look used? Or does it look
Yes.
clean?
So they will have dirt on them. Yeah, let's check the tools.
So they have been used. They're not covered in blood or anything like that you're aware of. You also find additional information where he appears to have both typed or handwritten various notes, ripped them up, thrown them around the room. So in those notes, you find the following. The first one, how old is the corpse? What was the process of mummification? Is it Egyptian? Was it wrapped or natural due to conditions such as being cold or dry? Was it ritual? Was it presentation or sanitation? Was it religious? Were there internal organs? Were they removed or were they in situ? Check for arsenic as an indicator of pre-20th century process. Is there arterial injection or cavity removal? Another piece of paper. Examination indicates regrowth. Unbelievable, regeneration. Another one. What happens if left unchecked? Full reanimation?
Oh no.
And the last one, can't be allowed. Burn it. St. Mary's Morgue has an incinerator.
Ah.
Now,
All right. Quick
I will
question.
let you push the roll about the medical equipment and the gasoline.
Can I ask Eliza a question? Eliza,
Yes.
do you think he's has used the gasoline because he believes that that is something that's going to help him on his way? So he's made some kind of Molotov with the gasoline.
I don't know about Molotov, but it's quite possible he thinks that's the case. Whether he actually has something to burn or not is something quite different. But I think it's safe to assume that maybe he believes so.
Is there still any gasoline in the tin?
Very minimal.
All right, let's push the roll. Woo!
So you're choosing intelligence or education.
They're both
When
exactly
you
the
push a
same.
roll, you have to do it at what we call disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where you roll the tens die twice, taking the highest, but you're rolling the single digit once.
First one, 10. Second one, 70. And it is exactly 70. So I have to get a 0. It's a 6. Nope. Oh, well. Oh, I don't know what these things are. Is that a shovel?
Feel free to push the roll, Eliza.
Yes, yeah, I'll give that a go. Okay. First one is a 10. Oh, crap. That fell on the floor. So let's try that again with a different dice, and I'll pick that one up later. Oh, no. Oh, hang on. That one was a 0, 0. I can't remember if that counts towards 100 in this case or 1.
3 zeros, not.
It will be 100.
Yeah, you
Well,
guys
I haven't rolled the single dice yet. So.
You guys kind of think he like took something to maybe burn stuff, but yeah, you're not sure.
Not enough information. It's too messy.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not sure either. But let's go and show the others just in case.
Sure. Are we done? Are we done looking in here?
That's all you find in the papers. And the equipment. So that's basically all you have found in these rooms.
Okay.
Could we go and search the desks quickly, just in case there's anything left in there as well?
So his cabinets are unlocked.
Yep.
And it's the usual things that you would find, such as types of medicine that could be prescribed to people. So like aspirin, things like that. Nothing that would be considered dangerous per se for the times. that would warrant someone coming in and ransacking, because it's unlocked and it's still here.
Okay. Which means there's probably laudanum in there as well, because it's the 1920s.
That's why I said for the times.
Yeah. If Eliza finds some laudanum, can she take some, please? Because you never know when it comes in handy.
Feel free to add some to your, it's not a huge amount. This room is
That's
mainly
fine.
consulting purposes, rather than like, it's not as if he performs day surgeries here or anything like that.
Excellent. That is going in Eliza's bag.
Because we also knew that even while it was meant to be pain relief, it was sometimes used to calm people down and sedate them if they were panicking after receiving news and things like that too.
Yep. All right. Laudanum is in the gear.
All right. So we're going to walk back to the other two.
Yep.
I'm just going to check out their bathroom. You know how it is. Just want to have a little peek, look at what their toilet looks like.
Curiosity never killed the cat in my experience.
I would say, given the time that you have spent in the office area, the others have had a chance to look around. And it is, there are areas where he has started to not take as much care. So the bedroom is messier, but it's not in the state of disarray that the others have found in the office and the consulting room. So it speaks of someone who has begun to just lose that touch with the day-to-day because they're fixated on something else.
A quick question. Anything white is either a window or a cupboard. Is this correct? Looks like a door.
Hang
or
on,
a
what are you talking
window.
about?
Those will be all
This
doors
is on the map.
On the map.
Yeah, they're doors.
Doors, or in some cases a window, yeah?
Doors. Oh, no, there would be some windows, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. The windows have like an extra little line through.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
they
on
do
the,
too.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
I just had a question while we were in the bedroom.
Mhm.
Can I check under the pillows just to see if he's got anything tucked under the pillows?
He doesn't seem to have anything tucked under there, but you get the impression that this is a person who is also not sleeping well.
Okay.
So you know how sometimes people rough up the pillows because they can't sleep, they're trying to get comfortable, they're tossing and turning. So it's more that sort of thing rather than anything specifically under them.
And nothing under the bed?
Not that you
Just
can
a
see.
few dust bunnies?
Yeah. Maybe like nighttime slippers, things like that. But nothing that would give you an indication of why he's no longer here or what it is he supposedly did.
Okay. Nothing in the nightstands either, like on either side of him. Are they like just bare?
No, when you so effectively when you get information from the others about the state of disarray, it really speaks to someone who is only in rooms outside of that office area when he has the need to. So the kitchen if he needs to eat, the bedroom if he needs to sleep, the bathroom if he needs to use it. He is effectively living in that other space.
Makes sense.
Is this, sorry if I missed this, but is this a standalone house or part of a block of flats?
So it isn't a professional building. So it has the private residence with the professional consulting rooms attached.
I'd love to, that shovel has been used recently. I'd love to step on the back patio and just look at what's going on in the back of the I mean he could have used that anywhere, but
I'm going to say no.
No.
Because you didn't, like when you pushed it, there's meant to be consequences. So I'm going to say that because you failed that second time, you don't make any connections about how else the shovel could have been used.
Okay.
Hey, really, I should have been making something a lot more serious than that happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, That's when things break or you hurt yourself and all that sort of stuff.
I mean, quite frankly, we were lucky we didn't stab ourselves accidentally with the used medical equipment. So,
Did you find
Is-
anything interesting in the study?
Well, he's been collecting a lot of newspaper clippings about a mummified person that was found. And we also found a whole bunch of torn up notes about questions on the mummification process, but then it starts to refer to healing and what was that other thing, Bonnie? Reanimation?
Yep.
So-
Regeneration.
regeneration. Thank you. There was also a note where he seems to have gone back to the hospital that he worked at, St. Mary's, I believe. So that might be our next step, is to see if he's actually gotten there.
Any reason for the smell? Just find anything?
He might be trying to set fire to something. We're not quite sure yet, but there was an almost empty gasoline container in there.
He
So
did
he's-
write a note that said burn it, didn't he?
Yes. Just not sure exactly what.
So he appears to have used up the gasoline. I'd like to stop and get some gasoline just in case he.
So I will actually say that people can do either a heavy machinery or electrical repair role.
Mechanical repair.
Ooh.
Yep.
No, it's quite low.
Same.
And heavy machinery. No, don't have any of those.
But look at it this way, you could actually get an extreme success still.
But if I get a hard fail, I'll get a spanner in the eye.
No, because you didn't push the roll.
Okay. All right.
There's
Let's have a
specific
look.
consequences if you push it and fail.
Finley's just gonna roll his sleeves up and just kind of push it, and it's like, hey, I got this one.
No.
Do it, Andy. Do it.
All right, I'm gonna go with my mechanical repair because it's ever so slightly higher. Oh, it's a 22. My thing is a 15. Damn, I was so close.
Do you want to spend your
I
luck?
also
7 points.
rolled.
Yep.
Um,
So,
I
yeah, Evie actually has skills in this area too.
Great.
I rolled mechanical repair. I've got 25 on it. I rolled a 23. So
So 2 points of luck is, oh, you rolled a 23, you don't have to. So you are aware, I presume that you mentioned that he talks about the incinerator at St. Mary's as well. That it has like the incinerator.
Oh,
Of
Yes.
course.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Yep.
you would be aware that an incinerator at a hospital in this day and age actually uses electricity. And so therefore, if he's planning on using that, he doesn't need the gasoline.
Right. So if that's the case and he's gone to the hospital, then he wouldn't need to take gasoline.
But you also know he's potentially not in his right mind either.
Are we in the room at the moment? I'm just wondering, does that shovel have any sort of ash or anything on it?
So if you go into the office, you will be able to make an intelligence or an education roll when looking at it.
Oh, there's no need though. I mean, both of us looked over it and we found nothing. But have a look by all means.
Intelligence. Maybe. Let's see. So what? I've got a 10 and a 0. So is that 100?
No, that's 10.
Oh, okay, cool. So then that is an extreme success.
Great.
Okay. You get to tick that. Oh, no, you can't because it's a big one. You can't. Sorry. Got your hopes up there. So you do get to tick mechanical repair.
Oh, yay.
You have a look at the equipment, and despite the fact that you've been told we've looked at it, it's all fine, you kind of start putting a couple of things together, and you realize that the sorts of tools he's gathered are ones you would use to dismember a body. And the gasoline would get rid of it. So perhaps he is actually believing he needs to dispose of a body.
It's a bit of a stretch.
Well, I mean, you mentioned that he'd made some notes about having to destroy a body. Potentially that's why he's collected the items he has. But I tend to agree. I think if he's gone back to St. Mary's morgue, maybe we should see if we could find him there and follow on his footsteps. If there's nothing else here that we could find.
All right. If this is the case, then shall we take the saw and the shovel with us?
That is up to you.
We may as well
Yeah.
chuck him in the car,
Yeah.
just in case get some gasoline.
Yeah.
Just
Can we
so
take the
Bonnie can hit them in
gas-
the head afterwards,
Yeah.
just in case.
take the container so we
Yeah.
can put some more gas in it? Yeah, sounds good.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So I presume you're all going to the morgue.
Yes.
Yep.
At St. Mary's.
I'm happy with that.
Mhm.
Okay. What time is it now?
So I would say it's just after 9 o'clock.
Okay.
So who's driving? Eliza,
Rob.
just come sit in the back of the car. They like to argue about who's driving.
I rolled a 70.
You don't have to roll
Are we
for
doing
normal
that?
street driving.
I rolled a 36, so I'll take these
That's
keys.
rollies. Rollies
That's
for
right.
who drives.
This is just going to be how you sort out who's driving the whole time. I love it.
Well, this,
Yeah.
this actually sorts out any arguments, I think.
Yeah.
Good solid way to.
I just
Each of
imagine there's
you-
a bit where we're all like trotting down the stairs, like in that little walk run, just to try to get
Oh, yeah,
ahead
yeah.
of each other each
Shotgun.
time.
Can I get each of you to add to your character sheets backgammon dice so you can roll 2d6 to see who drives at any given time?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Driving. I'll pop that in as a skill.
No, that's equipment.
Where is it? Equipment. Where do I put it? Let's drive.
You don't
Oh, there it is.
actually have to do it. It's okay.
No, I think it's a great
No, it's
Already
in
idea.
done
there
it.
now.
No, it's
These
done.
You
It's
can't
done.
take this office.
Are we doing D6s? Uh-oh. I
Yep,
got
so
5.
just backgammon dice because it's 2d6s.
Oh, 2.
It's part of our debrief. Edgar suggested it, so we'd stop arguing.
Well, I mean, it was a sophisticated residence. There's probably backgammon sets there and chess sets there and all sorts of things. So
It's
Besides,
probably
been a
due
common
to
game
the-
for a long time.
It's probably due to the complaint Florence made about the bumpy driving and the constant bickering.
Eliza will just lean into Evie's like this. Should I be worried?
Well, I wouldn't worry necessarily unless they're trying to drive particularly fast, but I do suggest you try and sit close to the edges so that you're not thrown against them.
Much appreciated.
Now-
Just holds on a little bit to the side just in case.
luckily for all of you, I don't have to make you roll to know where St. Mary's Hospital is because Eliza would know given her employment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So she's
She-
able to direct you there. It's not backseat driving if it's just directions.
Is it? Is it though?
And she does it in such a kindly voice that it's like, oh, that's fine. And keeps complimenting the driver because she wants to live.
Right. We're fanging
Finley's
it.
not taking that well.
It's how you noticeably sulking in the passenger seat in the front. Because if so, Eliza will just sort of reach over and go, lozenge?
So do we need to add saltwater taffy to your
Yeah,
sheet
we
as
do.
well?
I was
Yeah.
thinking of just putting sweeties, but I didn't. I don't think Eliza wanted to say that to Finley just in case he takes it the wrong way.
Okay, so you get to the morgue. St Mary's Teaching Hospital is on the campus of the Miskatonic University. At this time of night, only a few staff are around, and they are busy tending to patients. Eventually, a nurse tells you the morgue is closed and won't open until morning. No one has seen Lawrence Warwick, and before you can ask anything else, the nurse hurries off because a doctor has summoned them. If Warwick is in the morgue, you will have to find a way inside. You find the main entrance to the morgue is via an elevator from the hospital, but the elevator door is locked and there are too many people coming and going to attempt to break in. Thinking on your feet, you try outside, hoping to find the morgue's delivery entrance. Stealthily, you do find it. Down a private access ramp at the rear of the hospital. The heavy metal door has been propped open and the lock has been broken, perhaps by Warwick. Light spills out from the inside, threatening to alert passers-by to what looks like could be a robbery. So you slip in silently and you close the door behind you. As the door clicks shut, a blood-curdling scream rings out from inside the morgue. You rush toward the sound instinctively, racing through a hallway and into an autopsy suite. You see a blood-stained autopsy table. Scalpels and a bone saw lie on the table. Dr. Warwick is slumped on the floor next to a leather bag, his back pressed against the table leg. He is covered in blood, pawing feebly at a scalpel that has been jammed into his neck. He gurgles at you. Bloody, barefoot footprints and handprints dot the floor all around him. But he's wearing boots. And no one came past you. So whoever stabbed him is still inside with you.
Okay, should we go back and get the shovel?
Well, hang on. I need you to do a sanity roll.
Oh no!
All of us?
All of you.
And I would like to say, since we were sneaking around the back entrance, Finley
Yeah.
grabbed the crowbar out of the car, so he's just got that on him currently.
No,
No, I failed it.
fail.
11, I succeeded.
I just failed it.
Anyone who failed only loses 1 point of sanity. But remember to keep track of how much you lose because there are definitely going to be more rolls.
I just needed to roll underneath my current sanity, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So, faced with an injured but alive Dr. Warwick, with blood cascading from the scalpel in his neck, but also handprints and footprints indicating someone else is in here. What are you doing first?
I think Evie would probably brush forward and grab whatever she could, but in the way of like gauze-ish type materials to potentially put pressure on the wound or around where not stick this scalpel in further, obviously.
Mm-hmm. So it would be difficult not to have the scalpel come out given how shallow they are. However, if you would like to do a first aid or medicine roll, you do have a chance at stabilizing him. You are aware that if you do nothing, he will bleed out.
So that is half. I rolled a 21. My half is 22, so moderate success.
Yep. So you have stabilized him, so that means he will not continue to lose health points at this time. Unless something happens, because you don't know what else is in here with you. Or who else. or anything else. Now,
Can you describe the room, the door, if there's any other entrances or exits? What are we looking at?
so you would
We're all
like,
standing in the doorway, yeah? We've walked down a hall.
yeah.
There's the three of us in the doorway, a body on the floor in front of us, a morgue table.
So what I will get you to do first is just pause for a second. So after you stabilize Warwick, he starts kind of gurgling because obviously there has been the bleeding. He would have, blood within. He's very injured. And he does all these frantic gestures and pointing to his wound, and with the gurgling and everything that happens, that he's indicating, one, he's been attacked, two, whatever it is still in here. But he also points towards where you've come in and towards the elevator, and he manages to get the words, "Don't let them out."
Okay, so hallway from outside. Where's the elevator?
So you're still in the autopsy suite. Are you leaving the autopsy suite, or are you going to look around in the suite before leaving?
I'd like to look around. Yeah.
Okay. So if you are going into, this is where it makes me flick between so many pages. That's all right.
If that's all right with everyone.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yep.
So in the autopsy suite, there are two large tables bolted to the floor in the main room with bright overhead lighting. There is a countertop with cabinets above, runs along two of the walls. There are two large sinks against one wall. The cabinets contain a variety of medical instruments, including scalpels and bone saws.
Need to go back for that shovel then.
I might just pick up a bone saw
Okay.
and just have it on me, if that's all right.
That's fine. As long as you realize with with bone saws, they're not really bludgeoning instruments, but it is something you can still use to wound. It's a sawing thing rather than a whacking thing.
Is the autopsy table bolted to the floor or on wheels?
No, bolted to the floor.
And are there I don't know what you call them. What are the little fridge bits for with the sliding? What are those called?
You mean
the fridges?
The fridges.
Yeah, the body
Yeah.
fridges. I don't know if they're called
the
either. I just call them body
morgue
fridges.
So they are not usually in the autopsy suite. So they are usually in a separate room that's refrigerated. There's not really much in the way of portable refrigeration at this point in history. So it would be a separate area to keep things as cold as possible.
Okay.
Have we all seen these bloody footprints that are in the room and lead out?
Yes, you have.
Yep. How big do they look?
That was going to be my question.
They look like so they look like a normal human size. You can see it's very strange because you see the bare footprints leading out of the room, but there's something awkward in the gait that the person would have had. You also see handprints everywhere, but it doesn't look like the person was on all fours. You also see several additional types of kind of blood trails, as if something has traveled, but there's not enough definition in it to know whether it's feet, hands, or what it is.
That was going to be my question: is can we discern if it's just one set of footprints or if
There
it's...
so there's definitely one set of footprints in that there's 2 feet. one set of handprints in that there's two hands, and then the extra trails you can't tell if they're handprints or footprints or what they are.
Can I listen? Can I roll a listen?
You certainly can.
All right. Oh, my listen's 40 and I just rolled a 42. Let's luck it up.
Okay.
Look. Hey, hey. Stop that cat. All right. Oh, no. Ah. Get down. I'm at 48.
The dice belong to the cat now.
Get your hands off my dice.
So you do hear movement coming from multiple locations outside of this room.
Multiple locations.
Yes. For those who took a bone saw, I will get you to add to your sheet for damage. A bone saw does 1d4 plus 1.
Bone saw.
Since you've advised you're arming yourself with a weapon.
Yeah, totally. Well, it's that or the umbrella. So I wish we had gasoline at this point.
So the place you are in on the map is that big room in the middle. You can see the two tables that I've just got like the bolted down tables and everything in there. So you come in that back door and basically run straight across to the door into the autopsy suite.
Has this appeared on the Discord? I see. There it is. Refresh.
So did the footprints come into the autopsy room, or did they go down the hallway and we've just ignored them?
They leave the autopsy room
Okay.
through the other door.
Right, okay. So they went from the rear entrance to the autopsy room and then straight out. They didn't go down the hallway at all, from what we can tell.
So you've basically come in through the door that's on the right of that room. The trail is going out through the door that's on the left of that room.
And we walked past
Okay.
the elevator
Cool.
shaft, which is at the bottom right-hand corner. Is that correct?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. I'm going to go back out the door we came in and just go back to the car.
Which is your choice.
No, I won't. I feel
Hey,
like
no, it is a legitimate choice.
we are quite unprepared for this. Is there any way to take Lawrence away, or is
Well,
this...
I was going to ask you, given that it's a hospital, is there any like leftover wheelchairs, kind of, you know how they slot equipment in hallways?
So that sort of thing isn't really left down in the morgue. There would be ways to transport bodies between cold storage and this room. So there would be
Like a gurney?
There would be a gurney you could get from the cold storage room.
Is there a phone?
Not in the autopsy room.
Okay. So Eliza's just going to say, let's also keep our eyes out for a phone in case we can call another part of the hospital and just see if we can get someone to take care of the doctor.
So we've come in the right-hand door and I have heard noise behind me or in front of us. So,
Multiple locations.
okay. Can you give me a north, south, east, or west?
North, south, east, and west.
From the sounds of it, yeah.
We've come in from the east. Anything behind us?
Not in this room.
Well, that's...
And you,
It's so vague.
you said
I
we
love it
couldn't
when
use
the
the
GM's
elevator.
cagey.
You couldn't
Correct.
use the elevator because it was broken?
No, so it is locked.
Oh,
Because it's the end of the day, everyone in the downstairs has gone home. So it gets locked so people can't use the elevator to come down.
Yeah,
So
so
it will
can
be
we-
reopened in the morning when people come back on staff, which is at 9 a.m.
Didn't
Is
he say
Lawrence...
don't open the elevator? He said that to us.
He
Is it
said,
one of
don't
those?
let them out.
Yeah,
Is it one of
I
those
wanted
old school
to-
elevators?
Well, hang on. We'll go Cass
Sorry.
first.
Sorry.
So
yeah.
I wanted to see if Lawrence had enough in him to clarify if he meant don't let them out of the lift or don't let them out of the morgue.
Yep, so he actually pointed to the exits. So he pointed to the way you came in and
Yeah.
the elevator.
Okay.
I just have to retrieve a die from a cat. Excuse me.
Finn, go for it.
So with it, it's one of those, is it one of those old school elevators where it's got like the metal gate thing that you pull across?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that Finley could kind of stop them getting in there? Could he handcuff shut that elevator door?
He can.
I'd like to do that, if possible.
Yes.
I would like to go and use my handcuffs to just shut through that gate so that if they try to open it, we'll hear it.
If there was a skill for picking opportune equipment, I would get you to tick it, because with your tire repair and the fact that before this session, he's like, actually, Finn would like to take some handcuffs.
Like a Boy Scouts, prepared for everything.
Yeah.
It's like the specific one item he's picked each time. Oh, we're driving 2 hours. I'm going to take a tire repair kit. Like it's
Describe the handcuffs to us. What sort of handcuffs are they? Are they
So,
fuzzy? And what color are they?
yes.
Definitely fuzzy.
One of them has yeah.
That's
One
right.
of them
Fluffy.
has engravings with the word bad. The other one has the engraving of the word boy.
Yes.
Yes. Terrible. I love it.
I am here for it.
And this bad boy is not getting out through that elevator. Let's put it.
How sturdy are the doors to this room?
as in
Are they metal or are they just wood? Can they be easily kicked open or?
they don't really lock. Like this is not something where you would have, like, you would be able to lock particular areas, so where the bodies are kept, etc., but you wouldn't really lock the autopsy suite. So there's like the entrance and exit of it. So it would be more like the doors that just open and close as you walk through it, because you're pushing a gurney forward.
I see at the bottom of the map.
Mm-hmm.
Is this on the wall? Do we have knowledge of this room apart from the characters themselves know what this morgue looks like? Is it on the wall?
No. That's there for you to tell me more where you're exploring and then keep track of what's happening in each room, because you're likely to go back and forth.
What do you think, folks?
Have we got Lawrence onto the gurney? So if we've done that, I think we should. Do we head in the direction the footprints are going in?
I think
They go
we
straight
should
out the other
also-
door, don't they?
I think we should also be quite systematic. Bonnie, you mentioned you heard things from a few spaces. Let's maybe check and make sure no one's going to pop up behind us.
I did. Not behind us. I noticed when we came in that the door to the room we're in now, there's also a corridor around the other side. So,
So the room you're in has 3 exits. So there's one that you came in,
does.
there's one to the left that has smear trails, and there is the door to the south.
I'm going to go to the door to the south and put my ear up against the door
Okay.
and do another
Just bear
spot.
with me.
Spot listened. Is that okay?
That is, I've just got to confirm where things are currently at.
That's never a good
reasons.
sign.
For reasons.
Let me just check how many of you are there.
All of us.
Okay. So one of the things also I will make you aware of is, and maybe this will give you a bit of an idea, this scenario is called Bits and Pieces. And there are several trails leaving the room.
Oh.
This is why Eliza doesn't want to like risk anything being behind us.
So what I might do is get our lovely producer to take us to break so that you can start making some plans about how you're going to approach this. Because I can tell you now, you will have to play smart or not everyone will be getting out.
Oh no.
Ah!
And we totally didn't hear the scream at all from our lovely producer that
No.
he said was going to be our countdown back in.
I wanted to scream.
All we saw was his mouth open as if he was screaming. It was like a muted scream. So our intrepid adventurers are currently standing in an autopsy suite, seeing several blood smears, heading out another door and hearing noises from multiple locations within the morgue. Locations. Could be occasions. Depends on what happens. Now, you are in the autopsy suite. I believe you were going to potentially search areas in the autopsy suite.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I
So-
believe our first choice was to search all the cupboards.
So the cupboards contain different medical equipment predominantly used by autopsies. There are multiple types of the same sorts of things. So if other people want bone saws or knives/scalpels, feel free to arm yourself with one of those, and I can give you the damage that you would need if you are going to use it.
It's
I think I
probably
would.
not a bad idea.
I think I would grab a scalpel, seeing as how I pulled one out of Lawrence before. I'll probably
Yep,
just keep
yep.
that one.
Well, there's multiples. You can
Since-
probably have multiple scalpels if you want.
Since
There
I
is
said I
one
was
scalpel.
Them
bringing,
between my fingers.
I said I was bringing the crowbar with me. Could I use the crowbar as a weapon?
You can totally use the crowbar.
Yeah, let's go.
Heckin' yeah.
I want to search for a couple of specific things in the cupboard.
Mhm.
I want autopsy wire,
Okay. Yep.
bone cutting wire, and I want to have a look at if any of the liquids are flammable.
So there
Formaldehyde will
would
be
be,
flammable from memory.
there would be liquids in there. I'll get you to do a chemistry check for me.
Sorry, did someone already look for flammable? Does
No,
someone
no.
have better chemistry than I do?
So there are
Quickly,
liquids.
everybody, have a look. Help me. My eyes are. We're looking for flammable liquids. And I don't have chemistry on mine. So I will use. First aid?
Mm,
Um. What, does anyone have chemistry on them?
I don't think I
No.
have chemistry.
You know what? I've got library use. Let's have a look at that.
you
From my knowledge of a recent book I read on morgues and on autopsies. Oh, I got 10.
Okay.
I was going to say, if that
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
work, can Eliza
flammable.
please assist?
Yep. So your success in library use tells you that the sorts of chemicals used in these sorts of rooms, you have antiseptics, you have cleaners, you do have acids for some sorts of circumstance. Unfortunately, that is all academic knowledge and does not tell you what you recognize in front of you and whether or not they're flammable.
I want wire. I specifically
Mhm.
want wire.
You
Is that in
can
front of
try
me?
a general science roll and it will help.
Under G, you think?
No, under S for science.
It's not something I have.
Okay.
It might be the one under ride where it's got like none, and then underneath that it says science. At least that's what it says on my character sheet.
And that's
Okay.
because science is one of those ones where you can take specialties.
Mm.
So you can take forensics, you can take chemistry, you can take biology, those sorts of things. So you do have a general score, but it won't give you as much in-depth knowledge as the specific science subcategory.
I don't have any of that. Could anyone help me out? I'm specifically looking for wire. It's important.
Does anyone have a good like spot hidden check so that
Spot
they
hidden.
could?
I
I've got
guess I'll
spot hidden.
I'll just start rummaging. Like I come back from handcuffing the elevator,
Yep.
and I just start rummaging. I just hear wire, and I'm like, oh yeah,
Mm.
okay.
So
I'll just start rummaging.
before you come back into the room, I'll get you to give me a spot hidden check.
Oh, great. That would be an 86. My spot hidden is not 86.
That's fine. You don't notice anything.
Everything's fine. Totally fine.
Do I make
while
it back into the room?
Yeah, you make it back into the room. Yeah.
Okay. I'll just start. I'd hear wire and I'll start rummaging alongside Bonnie.
This is what I want to do. Those tables, everyone, are bolted to the floor. I feel like we need to make this space safe for us. So if we do, those sounds are quite they're full on, aren't they? So if we were to say create some kind of booby traps.
So you say full on, but it's not that they're particularly loud. You just heard them given everything else is quiet.
You're right. They're a bit untoward. Maybe that's the word I want to use. They're not. They've put chills in my spine. But I just for safety reasons, there's a bit of you know, there's blood on the floor, and Paul Lawrence has had been gashed. So let's. My thinking here is we've got a bunch of entrances in front of the doors. Maybe we string up some kind of wire in front of it so that we know where the wire is, but anything coming in is not going to see that necessarily. And we will have the upper hand always in this room. What do you think? If we could find the wire, what else do we have?
So give me a group luck roll.
Oh god.
Oh no. I didn't use any luck, so I'm still.
Okay,
That's
does
all
that
right.
mean that
So
It's
that
Eliza
I've-
doing the
Still
honors.
Piggles.
that I've
No.
said, oh god.
So hang on, didn't you, Bonnie did use luck at the start?
Actually, yeah,
I
but
didn't.
not
I
enough.
didn't use 10. I took it back.
Oh, okay.
I've only
Okay.
got 2 luck
Alright.
points taken away, so I'm still 48.
Okay. Yeah, wait. Wish me luck. What is that? That is a 22. Which
Woohoo!
is great.
So you do find wire. It's not the type of wire that would cut objects. So it's not, for example, stuff that would do a garrote or anything. It's more like the type of wire that they would use if they need to sort of connect things back together. So sturdier than surgical thread, but it's more done to join things rather than injure things. Having said that, wire still will do some form of damage if it's taut and you trip over it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is there quite a lot or enough to throw up in front of a couple of those doorways there?
So I would say you would have enough to do one of the 3 doors.
How about the one to the
So-
south?
You want to do the one to the room behind you,
I want to
like the room below. Do you want to look in the room?
address the team. We've got enough wire here. I think we could probably stretch that over one of the doors. Which one?
I wonder if we can look through that door just there behind us first. Because the
Oh,
other
which
ones are
one?
into the hallway. It's like meaning the one to the south.
The south. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I do a
Look-
listen check at the south door?
There's no wisdom checks in this game.
Listen.
Oh, listen. Oh, yes, go for it.
While Bonnie's doing her listen check, could I potentially be looking through Lawrence's bag?
You certainly can. And this is where everything's in different ones. Bear with me. Do you listen roll while I'm having a look?
Yeah. Nothing.
Nothing?
Ugh.
Hmm.
I smacked my head against the door. Oh, no, nothing. Can't hear anything.
Okay. So,
Oh, no, I had another idea. I brought this up
Yeah.
before. You let me have that mirror, didn't you?
I did.
Yes.
I'm going to use the mirror.
Do you want to show the audience the mirror and it might tell them why I let you have it?
Yes. Give me 2 seconds. I put it back on the shelf.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The mirror is fabulous, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It is wonderful.
Okay, so
Um,
in Warwick's bag, you find fire making equipment, including glass bottles of gasoline.
Okay. So I think
how
I
many
might have
bottles
found
was that?
I think I might have found your flammable liquids that you were looking for.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
How
I
many
think
bottles was there?
Given it's just a bag and it's not huge, I would say that there would probably be enough to, it is still a good percentage of a gallon's worth.
Okay.
So if you wanted, you could be clever and set fire to the whole morgue if you really wanted to, but of course the hospital upstairs would catch fire too.
What we do have in those cabinets, though, are a bunch of glass bottles, yeah?
You do?
and there's a sink in there. So let's just empty them and
Have
use.
you looked in the sink at all?
Oh no, we're getting there.
We haven't even looked. We haven't even looked everywhere. We need to.
No.
Well, we get very distracted. It's fine.
We do. We are.
Mhm.
Of course, we're going to look in the sink. Quick, someone mark that down.
In this.
Is Lawrence's condition deteriorating whilst we spend all of this
is
time?
stable, but he's passing in and out of consciousness, and that would be simply because of things like shock.
Yeah.
So
And
it
blood
doesn't
loss.
necessarily mean deterioration.
Okay. I'm just concerned about blocking our exits out of this hospital, considering we have a somewhat unconscious individual.
We can only block one. But what we could do is put it between the two morgue tables. So we can, they're bolted to the floor. So then no exits are blocked, but we still have created some kind of trap.
Could we do it from one of the morgue tables to, like, the sinks? Are the sinks also bolted to the floor, like in the corners? Is it those old school ones that are, like, bolted
Yes.
in place?
Yeah, everything in this room is bolted.
Let's go over to the sink and make sure that that sink is bolted. I will look into the sink.
Let's also
So-
see what's in it.
First, I will get everyone to do a spot hidden check.
Spot hidden. Yeah, 42.
32. I succeeded this time.
Who has a regular versus hard versus extreme? I will
Regular.
need that. Regular?
No, regular.
I've got what's a middle one? Is that a,
That's a hard success.
yeah.
I got an extreme success. I got a 1.
Wow.
Woo!
So these autopsy tables were clean, you think, when you came in, and there's a drop of blood on them now.
What?
Mm.
No. Oh,
Finley looks up.
Good call.
don't.
You don't know this yet. Eliza knows this.
Eliza's going to point out, it's like, everyone, start looking around very carefully. There's blood on that table that wasn't there before, and it's not come from the doctor. He's too far away.
It's just a drop.
Just perhaps weapons out. Let's just check. So just a single drop. It's not smeared or anything.
Just a drop.
So Eliza's going to look up, just in
Yeah.
case.
There's like this has white ceiling tiles, like those ones that can sort of move around a bit. There seems to be a patch on the one right above the autopsy table.
A patch.
Oh,
What do you mean a patch? Like
Like a
It
Black
looks
patch.
kind of
tile
it looks kind of reddish, almost as if someone's spilt liquid there.
on the tile on the roof.
Could you
And it's
reach with your
seeped through.
crowbar?
I was just about to say that. Finley, could you get your crowbar and Bonnie, maybe perhaps get that bone saw, and Evie, if you want to keep an eye on the doctor just in case. Let's see
Right.
what's under the ceiling tile, shall we?
Just like climbs up on top of the autopsy table to try and reach the ceiling with this crowbar.
Yeah, it moves
Do I
fine.
survive?
Yeah, it moves fine. There appears to be no weight on it.
Such a valid question.
And it's like push harder into the ceiling. Nothing slides or moves with the tile.
Nope.
Can I I've smeared the crowbar in it now. Can I take a closer look at whatever's on the end of my crowbar?
It definitely has it looks like it was probably blood, but kind of almost, for want of a better term, thicker. So it's not a free flowing fluid that has sunk through. It's something thicker, kind of more like the consistency of a gravy.
Okay.
Is it gravy?
I'm just gonna stick this out towards Eliza, and you've worked here, right? Have you seen anything like this before? It's just like in front of your
Cool.
face.
Can I use library use? I'll be like. That's what.
Now, for those who were looking in the sink,
Yes.
there are medical equipment in this. There is medical equipment in the sink. Feel free to give me a medicine roll.
Well, it's a 1. What could possibly go wrong?
Just
No,
roll
what could
one, it's
possibly
fine.
go right?
It's an
Ones are good.
18. I got 18.
It's fine.
Oh wait,
It's
sorry.
it's equipment that, you know, obviously it's been used. It's in the sink to be cleansed. They would have just left it here before they went home and then, you know, clean it in the morning. That's fine. Now, Eliza, what you
Yes.
notice is that this substance has the metallic smell that blood has, but there's also another smell underlying it that you can't quite identify.
There's no smell-o-vision. I don't quite identify. I'm just having a look at my character sheet to see if there's anything I can use potentially. Library use is my strongest, but I honestly don't think I'm going to check. Does it? So I don't recognize it. It doesn't smell like anything that I know of without doing. Yeah.
It's almost it's a little bit it's kind of like herbs, but kind of like there's just, you can't quite pin down what even type of smell this is, let alone what specifically it is.
Eliza's going to go the old tried and tested route of chemists of old and put a finger on a little bit of it and taste it.
No!
Okay, so I would like you to give me a constitution roll, please.
Yep, I was expecting that. What is my con? Okay, I need to get under 50. Oh no, that was a 74.
You rush over to the sink and you vomit.
Awesome.
It provokes this unnatural feeling and your body just wants it out.
Yeah, I imagine Evie's just like, sorry, not Evie, sorry, Eliza is just like hawking over, probably over the dirty medical equipment that's in the sink. She's just staying there, just going,
hey, yeah, one of the doctors
end.
just lost their nerve at some point. It must have been a bad autopsy. You know, that's just how it is. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. She, you know, when she sort of recovers a little bit, she might just take a tiny swig of the laudanum that's in her bag to calm her nerves afterwards and not settle her stomach.
Okay, I will remember that in case there is any form of combat later.
Yeah, like perfectly reasonable at the time. If you don't know what something is, you taste it and see what you can do.
Hey, my geology teacher in high school told us the best way to tell whether a rock was igneous or sedimentary was to lick it.
There are a lot of things that we should not have licked in history and absolutely didn't know what they taste like now because of it. Yes, agreed. Always lick the rock.
So you have effectively explored everywhere in this room. You have wire. You haven't chosen which door. Would you like to actually see what's in the room to the south first before you block the door?
I do, but hang on. I don't want to block the door. I want to put the wire between the two tables.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not blocking any of our exits, but we can use that as a tripping thing. So that's the first thing I'd like to do.
So the first question I'll ask is, why wouldn't they just walk around the table then? Given how the room is situated.
Because they're not movable as well, so we can't exactly move it to use it as a movable trippy thing.
All right. I do.
Sorry, just that you've advised that you intend to use it as form of an ambush / alarm. So I'm just
no, as in I want to run away, and if someone's chasing me through a door, they'll hit it and fall.
okay.
It gives me an extra turn or extra time. I want to use it for that reason.
Mhm.
So maybe I rig up something on the south door, but I have this.
Yes.
So this is an item that I have brought with me, which I want to slide under the door and see what I can see. Is that doable?
Well, not under, but you can open the door slightly without opening it all the way and rig
Slide
it
it
that
in.
way.
Is everyone else okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I did want to do a listen check at the door before I did anything of that sort.
Feel free to roll for listen.
No. Nah, nothing.
Absolutely
Your
dead
head against
silent.
the door again.
Oof. And it was.
job
'cause
we
that
have a
was
mirror.
A hard no
Mhm,
too.
mhm.
All right. I'm gonna open the door. I'm gonna rig this bit of wire at the base of the door. Cool with that?
Yep.
And I am then going to gently open the door and shove that mirror through.
Okay. Roll me a spot hidden.
I can do that. Oh, 54. Yes, and it's 8. 58 is what my hidden is. So yeah, just.
Mhm. So in this room is where those wheeled gurneys are. And it feels slightly cold on your hand.
So they're wheeled. Great. So
No. Like as in that's what you see in the mirror. You see like a row of wheeled gurney, like with
Great.
the gurneys.
can everyone else see this?
You've only just cracked the door open, so I didn't think so, but you could relay it to us.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, you come and have a look in the mirror if you want.
Oh. Okay. sorry.
Is there a
I was
light on
actually
in this room?
Yes, there are lights. The doctor must have turned all the lights on.
There's those horrible overhead fluorescent lights too. I'm guessing that flicker a little bit and give you a migraine.
Well, the 1920s equivalent, yeah.
Yep.
Do nothing for Finlay's complexion at all.
Hey, I'm going to open the door a little bit wider. Maybe we could toss a marble in or something. Toss a bone. We got a little bone?
If you want to pull it out of Dr. Warwick.
we have our backgammon dice.
That's true.
Okay.
Whoever-
Dice it is.
Whoever gives up one of their dice won't ever win the driving
Bonnie, roll your dice in.
Okay, I'm rolling the dice. I got a 1.
Okay. But that's fine because you're
no, it's
rolling
going
it on
in
the
here.
ground. So as long as there's nothing in there, you can pick your dice back up and you can
Yeah,
still argue
absolutely.
about who gets to drive.
All right, I'm just going to toss it in, make a little clink on the opposite wall.
Yep. Nothing.
Do you want to open the door? Let's do it.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna stand right behind you. You're like ready.
With the
just in
bone
case.
saw in the mirror.
Crowbar in hand.
Mhm.
Let's go.
Dicky crowbar with vomit gravy on it.
I'm taking a step in.
Now, this is obviously the room where they prepared the cadavers. So I made a boo-boo before in saying that the entrance to the elevator was out in the hallway. So I'm going to say that you lock it here because this is actually the entrance in this room, because this is where they wheel the cadavers out of the elevator when they bring them downstairs.
Oh, that's why there's the button on the wall. Okay.
Yeah. So you can actually see that there is like an embalming machine, there are the sinks, and there are the cabinets like there were in the autopsy room, but the room appears to be empty.
Okay.
Okay.
What is that in the northwest corner? Just a trolley?
That small brown trolley in that room.
No, that's the embalming machine.
Ah,
Got
okay.
it. Understood.
And can we search the cupboards on the eastern side of the room?
Yeah. So they contain basically the similar sorts of things that you would have found in the autopsy suite, in that it's the, various medical items and that sort of thing. So there's nothing really of note in here that you wouldn't have already come across.
Okay.
Except for, of course, embalming fluid to go in the machine, linen. Back then, they didn't really use body bags as much. They existed, but they weren't actually routinely in hospitals until after World War II. So they had like sheets that would carry the body through. So like when you see them lift them up using the sheets in the movies, that's sort of what they did at this period in hospitals still.
Okay.
Is there any like intercom systems or anything like that in any of the rooms? Because
No.
And no communication devices.
Not that you've found, but you haven't really left the autopsy rooms.
That's I kind of would like to start looking for something.
So we've checked everything. I think there's the sink and the drain for the body fluids on the sort of southwestern side. But you said there's nothing of note in there.
No, so
for those as well.
Like you've got the sink where people would be cleaning their hands, but the other thing there in there is kind of like a bathtub, but not a bath you kind of want to use. It is like the sterile metal. This is what they use to cleanse the bodies.
Okay.
These gurneys are on wheels.
Yeah, so they are on wheels, and they do have like the whole lock on the back of it, so you can actually lock them so that they can't travel.
Let's use them later for some kind of Spartan shield formation.
I was going to say, are you going to roll out the back door and say, fuck it? Like, is it?
While we're looking around in this room, I think Finley's just going to like grab Evie and be like, you grab that end, I'll grab this one, and we'll just put it in front of this door we just came through while we look around for now.
Do we have Lawrence in here with us?
Oh, he's fine.
Yeah, I would have been trying to sort of keep him either close, wheeling him in wherever we were going, or at least within an arm's reach. So if he's still in the other room, I would have been able to grab the gurney. Because I'm mindful that he is, fading in and out of consciousness, and he's kind of important to Bluestone people, so we don't necessarily just want to abandon him.
Do you want to together just put him on a spare gurney for now? Just let him lie down.
I thought we had put him on a gurney.
No, he's in a wheelchair.
No, there's no wheelchairs. There's gurneys.
Oh, I thought we wheelchaired him.
I thought we put him on a gurney earlier.
No, I said there would be gurneys down.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but you hadn't located one.
In that case, let's put him on a gurney then, so that we can kind of keep him moving around as we hopefully move around. Yeah.
We might need to use it at some point.
Eliza's going to grab one of the linen sheets that get used, and considering he's been in shock, just like actually drape it over the body once he's gotten on there. Plus, you never know, it might come in handy at some point. Who knows?
So are you putting one on him and taking one for yourself?
Yes, actually, and I think I might tuck another one under his head, because if he's going to stay with us, like, then it can easily whip one. One of us can easily whip one out as well. So yeah, one to cushion his head, one on him to help keep him warm, and then I'll tuck another one into like somewhere around my person.
Okay. Where next? And again, you always have the option to leave whenever you like.
Yeah, folks, I'm thinking the door to the west.
Should we do a listen check?
Yes, please.
Okay, I need to do this without your help, mate. So, there you go.
Kitty says no. Do you have the highest listen, Bonnie?
I think it's high. It is a 40.
Oh, that's higher than mine.
I've got 45.
Hey,
Ooh,
let's both go for it.
Could I help?
Yeah.
72. I keep failing.
You can do it separate.
All right.
I didn't hear a thing.
You didn't hear anything.
Nah, 62.
Oh. Oh no.
Shall we all have a
All I
listen?
can hear is the blood rushing in my ears.
Everyone should have a listen.
So
Yeah.
big door. We're putting all ears to the door.
Yeah.
I got. And this is a spot hidden roll.
Yeah. Oh no, listen. Roll.
Listen roll. Oh,
Mm.
listen.
I have a
hang-
regular success.
Okay.
Hooray.
You don't really.
I failed.
You thought you did for a second, but no, you don't hear it now.
Hey, there's one way to know for sure. Just knock on the door. I'm gonna knock.
Actually,
If
not a
they're
bad
dead-
idea.
If they're
'cause I thought I
dead,
heard
they
something.
won't answer.
No, but they might scratch the door or flick the handle or not that I think dead people can. Should we do a knock or do we do a quiet mirror?
Stick the mirror in. Let's
I
My
think
mirror it in
the
again.
mirror
Let's
is
stick
probably
the mirror in.
safest.
Yep. So this looks like it is actually where the bodies are stored. So they're brought in,
Does.
they're prepared, they're stored here before they're autopsied and perhaps go back into the cold storage.
Sorry,
How are they
this is not the cold storage. This is cold storage, yeah?
So you are in, so the first room
Oh.
you were in was the autopsy suite, then you were in
Understood.
cadaver
Understood.
preparation.
Yep.
The room you're looking to go into potentially is the cold storage room.
This is
And
why
how
I
are the
folded here.
are they their bodies? Can we see in the mirror if there's bodies in the room?
You can see that there are the drawers up against the wall.
Okay. So when you say storage, they're actually stored in the little
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
They're not kind of like
No. So, I mean,
Hanging.
back then they had like the metal where you pull the drawers out and the bodies on it, etc.
okay. You can't see any bodies hanging around in corners where they shouldn't be in there, Bonnie?
Can I? Is the light on in here?
Yep, the light is on in every room you've seen so far.
I can't see anything in a drawer. No. Not that I
No.
can.
No random body in the corner, just like that. Because that's a bit of a giveaway.
No, but give me a spot hidden check and tell me whether it's a regular, hard, or extreme.
Yes. It is a 32. And my half is 25, so it's
A regular
a
success.
regular.
There's
yeah.
nothing that you can see.
Nah. I
Was
see
this
drawers.
where the footsteps were? Did the bloody footsteps and handprints, did they go in this direction or was that in an
The
opposite
footsteps
direction?
and handprints didn't.
No, they went out the west door.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, I'm
Right.
opening the door.
Yep.
Let's have a squeeze. May as well. Yep.
Okay, you go in. Anyone who's doing a search of the room, feel free to do a spot hidden.
Okay.
But again, I need to know if it's regular, hard, or extreme.
I
Well,
did that before
fail.
I opened the door, yeah? The spot hidden was in the mirror.
I see nothing.
So now that I'm hands free, can I go
Actually,
again
wait.
with the spot
No,
hidden?
actually, no. Sorry. I was looking at the wrong one. Regular success.
I got a hard success for spot hidden.
I just got a hard success.
You can't roll again. I didn't answer before because others were
Oh.
talking. So Finn, you realise that this is obviously where the bodies are. You try some of the drawers; they're all locked. There's probably a key around somewhere, but you know, if it's locked, then it's not going to be wandering around. Hey,
No.
Evie, you think you see a shadow move, and it's almost like you realise there's a gap between the bottom of the drawers and the floor.
What?
Oh.
Almost like a giant cabinet of sorts.
Quite,
So there's that gap
I
at the bottom.
I think there might be potentially something behind the
Not
cupboard.
behind, under.
Yeah, under it. Okay,
Do we-
under.
Should we poke it with bone saws?
Um,
Evie, did you bring your torch with you?
I do actually have my torch.
Nice.
Pull that out of my bag. And I will use the torch to look underneath the gap.
Mm. I would like you to give me a sanity check before I tell you what you see.
It's a rat!
With many hands.
It's a rat.
I have to get under, right?
Yeah.
I did not, in fact, get under.
Can you roll me a d6, please?
Yeah, sure. Is this for who drives the car next?
Sure. It
A type
could
of
be,
car anyway.
depending on what the outcome is. You might run away.
I got a 6.
Okay, so you lose 6 Sen.
What do I see?
Well, you're kind of frozen. You can't tell the others what you see, and we'll get to what happens in a sec. You see a torso. No limbs attached. And it's moving.
Movie?
I think Evie at that point would probably drop.
No. Evie has to do some other things before she
Okay.
can decide what she does.
Okay.
First of all, she freezes for a second.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens when you're like, what the actual fuck am I seeing right now? Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say that you are frozen. I am also going to say that I will get you to give me a knowledge roll.
Knowledge roll. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I got a regular success on the knowledge roll.
That's the one you didn't want to succeed in.
Oh no. Yeah.
Okay, so just bear with me.
It's all coming out Millhouse.
Oh,
Cast failed successfully.
Cast failed successfully. Okay, so I'm trying to decide which one I'm going to do. So just bear with me.
Oh, pick the worst one, honestly.
Hmm.
Where did you find knowledge?
It's up the top, one of the big ones, Edge U.
Mm.
Oh, right. Yep. Okay.
Okay, so just bear with me while I go and look at an interesting little table. But what I would like to say is that you definitely understand. Torsos should not fucking move. You definitely saw it move. There are no limbs on it. How is it moving? Like, what is propelling it to move? And you also realize, how did it know to hide from us?
Has Evie relayed any of this to us?
Probably not
Not
because
yet,
I'm frozen.
because she's frozen.
I'm
So what I'm
processing.
going to do is I'm going to get you to roll for me
Yes.
a d10.
Uh-huh. Okay. An 8.
Okay. So you basically lose your shit. You are screaming, you are crying, you are in hysterics. Roll a second d10 for me.
Oh no.
A 2.
So it will last about 2 minutes and no one can calm you down during this. And you don't even realize if people are trying to calm you down. You cannot be calmed. You're also no use to anyone for 2 minutes.
We need
And
to
you
get her out
can't
of
tell
the
them
room,
what
though.
you saw.
Can we drag her out?
Does she want to fight you? She doesn't realize that you're trying to help her.
Oh.
I think if I'm panicking, something touching me will probably make my limbs flail about.
Do we need to slap her a bit?
Does anyone have smelling salts?
Smelling salts.
No.
Do we have
Next
laudanum
time.
left?
We do. We have a little bit, but we'd have to get close enough for her to drink it. Mm.
Hey, I had a thought, but I can't share it because Evie hasn't shared.
No, but you know that she's looked under there.
She's seen something.
She's
yeah.
frozen in fear.
Is
and
she?
then
Would I have dropped my torch at this point? Like, obviously,
sure.
yeah. So I would have dropped the torch.
That makes absolute sense.
So,
Who wants to
let's-
pick up the torch?
Hey,
and
let's
you'd
all
have to
look.
bend down and have a look.
Yeah, let's bend down and have a look. I'm gonna have a look.
Join me.
Mm.
The
Do you scent
madness
check?
is fun.
Yeah, do you scent check?
Uh,
No.
that is
Come
a
to
no.
the dark side.
That is a wild no. That is a very
So-
hard no.
What number did you roll?
90.
Okay, so that's not the worst, because if you fumble a sanity check, you automatically lose the maximum.
D6ing it, am I?
You are D6ing it.
2.
Okay, so you lose 2. So, you
wow.
freeze. I will get you to make a knowledge roll to see if you can understand what's happening.
We'll just do the counting. A knowledge roll here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, 15 out of 70.
Yeah. So
Oh, yes.
it's the same as Evie. You understand this is not possible.
Yep.
This does not, it is not consistent with what you know about the living world or how things work. And you remember, you asked Edgar about whether or not things were there things? Are there things out there that we don't know about?
That's not all I remember though. Do you want to know what else I remember? I remember Lawrence had written down that they shouldn't regenerate. And I wonder if this is what he's referring to. And I wonder if that slime on the roof in the other room has anything to do with regeneration. But all of this can't be true anyway, because I don't believe in it.
But here, as someone who, while not a librarian, is still learned, they shouldn't regenerate. Does that mean they can't, or you shouldn't let them? Because there's 2 ways to interpret that.
I don't think it's possible. I think there's a third way. This shouldn't be happening.
So, you're currently, for a brief moment, frozen as your brain processes this.
Cool.
But you don't go into hysterics like the person behind you.
Yep.
Hi, I'm the person behind you.
Hi, it's me. I'm the drama.
Am I able to verbalize what I'm seeing to the others?
You can, yeah. Go for it.
All right. It's a torso and it's moving. Oh, I should point out it doesn't have any arms or legs. Does it have a head?
No.
And no head. But it's doing the uppy downy breathy thing, and I think I've conveyed the message.
You also notice that it did have the Y incision. So the autopsy has occurred on this.
So it's also potentially missing vital organs, but it's still doing the wiggly uppy downy thing. So
And no, you don't have medicine,
I don't.
but feel free to use your first aid roll because it would still give you an idea given the times.
Oh yeah, it's quite good. Let's see if I can do something with that. It's 40 and I just got 12.
Okay. So you don't necessarily know the specific medical terms for it, But you're aware that, hang on, if things have been removed from the torso through an autopsy, the body bleeds freely, and it does internally as well, but there's also sinew and tendons and connecting tissue and all those things that have blood flow through it, but are thicker.
What specifically am I seeing with those things? I'm just aware that it's
You're aware that they exist.
right. Okay.
And then you remember, hang on, the ceiling tile, wasn't that thicker?
Is that regenerating too? Can someone check the ceiling tile, please? No!
So are you guys leaving this room? By this time,
Uh,
Evie, you'll be starting to calm down.
Could we do a thing?
Is it still on the end of my crowbar?
You,
like,
you
look
haven't
at
poked it with the crowbar yet.
Poke it
No,
with the
they-
we
crowbar.
they-
haven't gotten
underneath.
that far.
the fluid from the ceiling
Oh,
because I like
that,
scraped my
that.
crowbar
Oh.
on it.
Yeah,
Is that doing anything?
like,
Just gonna look down at it.
and by this time it would have started drying and you know, that
Hmm.
sort of thing, yeah.
Eliza has
Yeah.
the sheet that she took from the other room. She's gonna pass it to Bonnie. Bonnie, how about you cover it and see if you can pull it
So-
out?
It would be very hard to cover it.
Mhm.
You're
It's
likely to
underneath.
have to,
Touch it.
Crowbar it out.
and it's not going to
Right.
cooperate.
But also,
Ooh.
do we want to? Right now, it's kind of safely squished under the cabinet. Maybe we should probably squish it more in there, or put it in
Well-
a drawer.
I was thinking more in terms of destroying it if we could get it out, is what I was thinking. Could we potentially put it in that big metal bath in the other room and set it on fire, or find acid in the cupboards and try and melt it with acid?
Yes. Yep.
So there is acid in the cupboards. Probably. It is the
Would-
sort of thing where you could put it in a steel bath.
Mhm.
You don't have the chemistry knowledge for.
No.
I can't say things because you don't have it.
No,
So-
no, and
would
probably without
Finley-
a library or textbook, I couldn't use library use to work it out, I think, at this point. So unless we come across that, that's not going to help too much.
Would
Let's
Finley
just
be able
poke
to
it.
discern where it is, like using sound or kind of where they looked, without looking himself?
Yeah, so you can hear it's kind of thumping around like it's trying to move.
Yeah, I just swing my crowbar underneath there, like I get it under the gap and just just give it a smack.
Okay. So we are going to enter combat. The question I'm going to ask you all is, given the time, do you wish to do this combat tonight, or do you wish to start the combat fresh next session?
Part of me wants to do it now.
I wanna
I'm
do it
da-
now.
Prefer
I'm
to have
down for
everyone
it right
else's
now.
feeling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll put everyone into initiative order. So basically that's determined by your decks.
Okay.
Because the more wily you are, the faster you are.
Fair.
Now, do each of you have the cheat sheets I gave you with regards to combat?
I was looking
I
at it
might have
earlier.
to
This is the
find them.
Chaosium one, right? Oh, Chaosium one you gave us.
No, there was another one I gave you which basically told you how to do outcomes of opposed rolls and stuff like that.
Can I be
Yes.
that person and say no, I don't?
Yes,
that's
I
fine.
do.
I don't think I have it.
Okay.
I can quickly send this to the Discord if you'd like me
Yeah,
to.
that'd be good. I was just
Yes,
checking the pin
please.
post and I don't see it there.
All right.
It's the one post I have that says cheat sheet on it. On my search function says I'm going to post a link rather than the cheat sheet, so I can't find the actual cheat sheet.
It was posted. That's
Was
how
posted.
Bionic
that's
has
the
it.
thing. I know, yeah.
That's all right. I can talk people through it. It's just also that if you have it, it's there. Okay.
Okay.
So basically in combat, you can actually choose to strike something, you can choose to dodge something, or you can choose to do what we call a maneuver, which is where you're aiming for a specific thing like grappling, knocking prone, disarming, those sorts of things. So think of it as maneuver is something you want to do that doesn't cause harm. Attacking it causes harm. Dodging / fleeing / taking cover is to escape harm. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
I do apologize. These are upside down. I don't know how to flip them. Let me flip them.
That's all right.
Okay, I got mine.
Okay, so would you like to roll to attack with your crowbar?
Yes. So I just roll my 100, right?
Mm-hmm. And tell me if it's regular, hard, or extreme.
Okay, so do I roll with my strength?
No. So, which weapons did we put on your sheet?
I have the crowbar and the brass knuckles. They're like the
Yep,
thing,
so you
but
would
I'm
use the
swinging with
stats you've-
crowbar.
Yep, so you would use the stats that you've got there for your crowbar.
Oh yeah, regular. Okay, yeah, okay. That would be a hard success with a
Okay.
33.
So the torso was unable to dodge. So feel free. Funnily enough, oops, what? So feel free to roll damage.
So, with the crowbar, what is my damage number? Because you never gave me the actual damage number for that.
Goodness gracious. Okay. Let me do a quick search.
I assume it would be D4. Like, 1 up from brass knuckles, at least.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Just like I said, bear with me and stuff like that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat it as a club,
Okay.
which is a D6 plus your damage bonus.
Okay, perfect. All right. So that'll be 1d6 and 1d4 for me. And then it says my build, it's got +1 on combat. So would I
Yep.
add? Okay. So that is going to be 9 points of damage.
So this thing, if it could make noise, and it really doesn't make noise, aside from ambient noise when it flops,
Oh.
would make noise if it could. But it is still alive.
Okay.
Or whatever is passing for why it can move.
All right.
We will now enter regular combat. So who has the highest dex?
Eliza has 55.
55.
50.
70.
Ooh.
Ooh, go Evie.
So Evie, what would you like to do now that you're back to normal?
Apparently parkour around the room.
Now, I would like to get the fuck out.
And that's absolutely fine. So you retreat back into the cadaver room,
Yeah.
which is, given the size of the cold storage room, probably where you would have left the doctor.
Yeah. I'm out.
And you can tell people you were protecting him. You don't have to let them know that. It's fine.
I'll just be over here, guys. I'll get help.
I'll
Okay.
pick the next one.
Just
So
scared of rats.
who would like to go first from Bonnie and Eliza?
I mean, Bonnie is the suffragitsu person,
Yeah,
so
I'm going to
I'm kind of thinking Bonnie.
suffragitsu. It's, well, I don't know if it's got an R, so I can't tell. But it's torso. Yeah. I do have a brawl, quite a high brawl too. So, let's get some suffragitsuing on.
So, for a point of context, it is under a cabinet.
Right. So I'm gonna drop down and swoop one leg out.
Okay. Roll your attack.
Attack. This is brawl, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It's not great. My brawl's quite high, and I got an 87. So no, fail.
So somehow, and you don't understand how, given it's a torso, it moved out of the way. And you can hear these kind of flopping, partially sticky sounds as it's moving on the tiles.
Okay.
Mm.
Is it still underneath?
It is at this point.
It just slopped to the other end,
Because
did it?
surprisingly enough, a torso doesn't have very high dexterity. So it is kind of further down in the running order.
What?
What?
All right. So that leg sweep failed.
Okay.
No legs to
Okay.
sweep.
Now, knowing that there are two people there, but I will allow you, because you do have a degree of movement, to move out of the road for other people to do things if needed.
Can do that.
So, Eliza, what would you like to do?
Eliza is going to get their nightstick out and kind of try and do similar to what Finley tried to do before, is actually use it to try and sweep it out, essentially, from underneath the cabinet.
So are you trying to cause damage, or are you trying to push it out?
I think at this point, actually trying to push it out so we can reach it, because the cabinet's, like, she's seen from the first two attempts, like the cabinet's actually kind of in the way. So I think not damage at this point, just trying to sweep it out with their action. Okay,
so I will get you to roll your, as if you're attacking. So you still roll the same dice and you use the same skill, because you're using that to maneuver.
Yeah, that is a definite fail. I rolled 73. I needed to get under 25.
And, you don't know where it is. You're kind of guessing. You're not looking at this point in time.
Yeah.
Hey,
So it's kind of understandable.
I eyeballed it. It doesn't have arms. It doesn't have fingers. It doesn't have a head. Why don't we just drag it out?
Someone just reach in and drag it.
Hang on. It's Finn's turn.
Finn,
Let's
grab it.
you.
Eliza has a linen sheet. If you don't want to touch it with
that
your
you
hands.
socked this thing good before.
Yeah, I think
you
Finley's
felt
just like,
you felt the crowbar not only come up against the flesh with the force, but the end of the crowbar kind of caught almost as if it was puncturing it.
I'm gonna try and like do that same thing to see if I can like stick it in, because if it gets stuck in, I can pull it out later. So I'm just gonna take another just wild swing at it without looking. Just kind of when your dog rolls its tennis ball under the couch, you just gotta try and smack it out without looking.
And you've got a fair idea of where it is, because even though it's effectively dodged what Bonnie did, it hasn't really needed to move, because it was a wild swing almost.
Yeah, I'll
And
try
she
and like
could've-
knock it towards us, I guess. But do some damage.
Bonnie has seen it. She's a bit disturbed. It's fine.
All right. That's a 35, which is another hard success.
Okay, so roll your damage for me again.
That is that's a 10 this time.
Okay. It's almost like you hear a bone break in it.
Oh.
And the sound stops. And you realize your crowbar is lodged in it.
No.
And I can't feel any resistance on the crowbar.
No resistance at all, except for the weight of what would be a torso.
Just gonna, out of my way. What? Taking this into the bath. I'm just gonna like drag it out.
Ugh.
Okay. Once
Ugh.
it's dragged out, Finn and Eliza, it's not moving anymore, but you know it was, and it's still a dead, well, not really
Two.
appendage, but
I had to.
So, sand rolls, please.
Okay. Everything is fine, everybody.
I did really
50.
well. 2.
A
No,
57.
no, the ones that hadn't seen it.
Oh, sorry. So sorry.
A 57. I've passed.
23, I've also passed.
Each of you only lose 1.
Yay.
Okay. You now have a non-moving torso. You extricate the end of the crowbar from it. What would you like to do?
Is there anything
Just-
identifiable about it? Can we? Is there any clothing on
Tattoos
it,
or
or is it
something?
just blobby
No,
flesh?
it's a bare torso.
And no weird goopy gravy blood that's coming out of it.
No,
And no markings
no.
that we can see. I mean, it has had an autopsy. Why would it be moving? I imagine there's something inside of it making it move.
I mean,
Eliza's
feel
gonna say-
free if you want to open the stitches
Yep.
up from the wine incision.
I've got a bone saw. I'm absolutely going for it. I'm just going to check inside.
Mhm. All the insides are gone,
Ah,
and there is nothing inside to explain why it would move.
So we don't have a way to burn this thing. Bonnie,
Didn't
do we?
Evie find the gasoline?
Not yet.
should
And
we
what-
waste the gasoline? We could just put it in one of the
I was
drawers
gonna
and lock the
I was
drawer.
gonna say,
The drawers are locked.
Mm.
There is an incinerator, though.
Oh. Where is that? Is that in
Um,
on this floor? Oh, there
It
is.
is. It is. It said that the morgue had an incinerator.
Well, let's
Because they
whack
would
it on
have-
a gurney then.
you know, I don't think I want to take this thing with us. I want to just
I
if we
think if we
can't
take it
if we
with us-
can't burn it.
We should
or-
tie it up in one of the sheets.
Yes, let's.
Yeah, wrap
So
it in
you're
a
tying
sheet,
it
tie
up
a
in the
knot.
sheets. Are you
Hey.
carrying it around with you, or are you leaving it in this room?
Could we do something before we do? I've got a bone saw. Let's just hack it into smaller pieces. So regeneration is going to be a little harder for it. If not that I believe, but let's just go and hack it, sheet it up, tie it in a knot, and then leave it in the room. We can come back.
Or maybe we just put it on the lower shelf of the gurney that the
Yeah, and then
professor's
put it on the
on, so
gurney.
we can keep an eye on it.
Yeah,
It
there's
starts
3
moving.
gurneys there.
Mm-hmm.
Right, let's hack. I'm hacking.
I think between the sheets and like the linen bandages that I think that were mentioned in one of the cupboards, we can probably reliably strap it down to one of the gurneys and get it to the incinerator when we find the incinerator, which we have not done yet. We don't know exactly where it is yet.
No, you do not.
No.
Nope.
So, yes, I think Eliza is also all for tying it and strapping it down so it can't come after us and make those squishy, icky moves that we knew happened.
So you do that, and you push the gurney back through the cadaver room into the autopsy suite. Would you like to make another spot hidden roll?
Well, before we
The-
do, watch the tripwire, everyone.
So we're all making spot hiddens.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Yes, terrific. 11.
Sorry, was Evie included in on that, or am I still in a different room?
No, they would come back through because they're putting it on the gurney that you're next to.
That's a fail for Eliza.
All my good rolls are gone again now.
Mhm.
61.
Hmm.
I got a what is it? A half success. It's 32, but I rolled a 21. I'm not entirely sure Evie wants to see anything, but
Yeah. So when the gurney is pushed through and to the side of the table, given the tripwire, you realize it seems to be leaving marks on the floor.
Huh? What?
And then you realize it's rolled through blood at the door that wasn't at that door when you went into the
No.
cadaver room. And that's where we'll end it.
No.
Oh, yuck.
We got a bag full of bits and blood where it shouldn't
Not
be.
enough crits.
No.
Yeah. Someone says in the chat, no.
So the good news is that I keep rolling really high on the Raven's Ridge dice. Bad news being I didn't want to keep rolling really high. I needed to roll below skills.
Mama.
They work too well, and you watch. They won't work when I play D&D. But so we'll go around again. Let us know who you are, where we can find you, and tell us a moment that you enjoyed in the game tonight. And we will go reverse order. So, Piggles, you're first.
Oh shit, now I've got to think of something in the game. Oh no. Hi everyone, I'm Piggles. I've been put on the spot. I did that to people at work earlier today, and now it's my turn. Ah, karma. So you can find me now here. Yay! You can also occasionally find me on Jack Square Peg channels, who's in the chat saying hi to everyone and being the menace that he is, which is lovely. You can also come check me out on Instagram at Pigalek, Pigalek. And favorite moment from tonight, probably when Bonnie and Eliza were just like, nah, there's nothing to worry about with the shovels and the medical equipment. It's all fine. Like, yeah, nothing to worry about. It's all good.
No, that's just a shovel.
Yeah,
It's fine.
It's normal. Nothing weird's going on at all.
Mm. Evie or Mira? No, not Mira. You're not in Radiant
No.
Shadows. Shadowmere.
She's not the sweetest little halfling in this game.
Long week. Again, tell us who you are, where we can find you, and a moment you really enjoyed from the game.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Shadowmere. You can find me mostly on TikTok, Shadowmere. I'm on Instagram. I'm also over in the Meeples and Dragons channel, and tomorrow night, 7:30, don't quote me, you might be half an hour late, but that's generally how I live my life. We're playing a one-shot because Radiant Shadows is having a teeny little break due to everyone's busy and doing other stuff, not wanting to play games. So I'll be there. And my favorite moment, I think my overall favorite was having Pickles join us. I think that's probably my favoriteest moment. And I really enjoyed the description of the squidgy torso. I thought it was great.
Okay, Andy, same thing. You know the
Hello.
routine. Come on.
Yeah. Andy or Andy SPG. You can find me under that moniker kind of all over the internet. It'll be slightly different in places because that's just how it works. You can find me here though sometimes, and hopefully very nearly in the future, playing a gay little pirate called Tohi on the Lowrights channel as part of our D&D campaign that started in Pride last year. So hopefully we can get some more of that this year. And I think my favorite part was honestly keeping the legitimate counter for cat sightings. So we had 9.
Love it.
Bionic, your turn.
I don't actually have any other extracurricular activities on at the moment. However, I am going to be involved next month in, I'm not even sure I'm allowed to say the word, but I'll say it, the vagina monologue. So I'm a bit excited about that, but that won't be live streamed or anything. That's just an exciting project I'm involved in. Favorite part was probably the torso. No, it wasn't. It was Eliza licking the juice on the roof. Because that was very that was a weird thing to do. That was just weird.
Yeah,
I
they've
enjoyed
been
it very
around
much.
too many scholars who lick things. It's rubbed off.
For science.
For
That's
science.
right, for science.
Gross. That was good.
I'm Talaris79. You can find me here again in a fortnight or on socials talking about random things. And I will say why I had mirror in my head. Because I really liked that you guys missed the shovel and gasoline connotation. And it was Shadowmere's character of all people that realized it was about body disposal, which then reminded me of Mirror and Grave. So it's like, of course, it's going to be her character.
Yeah.
I will point out, though, Mira was not responsible for the digging of the grave. I was just supervising.
Because Mira is smart as a character. Everyone, go check out Radiant Shadows. It's a heckin' good time.
So with that, basically we'll be back in a fortnight. And
Yay.
Fun.
we'll find out more about the blood at the door. We are going to raid out to Split the Party, who, by the way, for those who haven't seen the chat, are actually a finalist in the Crit Award nominations for charity event. So
Wow.
keep an eye on that
Nice.
and, do all your votes and all those sorts of things and get the word out there, because we want to see more Aussie people who are involved in the community and everything. And they did an amazingly huge amount of work. So, it's been multiple times in a row. They really deserve to have, that recognition for it.
On the count of 3.
We've all been. We're all
Everyone wave awkwardly. Everyone.
Scream, you fools.
I'm not screaming.
And we're out.
What was the official total for this year's with Split the Party?